A very pleasant good afternoon as we welcome you into another edition of the Lion Country Kia Goon and Ironhead show here at Quaker Steak and Lube in State College. And just as I've been telling everybody, Goon, I mean, everybody's like, hey, I'm not sure about the Pirates. I keep saying, no, you got to believe. These guys, this management, they're on the right track. I've been defending the ownership, and look at it, Goon. It's paying off. The Buccos are the team to beat, right? I mean, I think, again, we're pretty early in the season, but they've just started another run. It's pretty hard to see how this team won't be in the World Series as we sit here right now. Am I right?
They're sitting in
You're with
place.
me?
They're leading the league in runs scored.
Yeah, they're just they've put it all together. They've put it all together. Going
under $7 million salary.
I don't know why anybody was doubting the Pirates. I had friends that actually were disappointed and upset with the ownership group, if you can believe it, Goon.
I think that
there was somebody I was listening to was like, listen, they're not even trying to win. Look at this. Not only are they trying, they're winning, Goon. They're doing it.
Cubs got 3 pitchers that make more than the whole Pirates roster right now. And the Buccos are running away with it. Dominating performance right now.
Yeah,
but
good
Alan,
times in the
our
Berg.
Good friend Alan out in the crowd. he does have to realize it is a 9-inning game. So it's just 9 innings. Yep.
No, I thought this year, coming out of COVID, I thought we were going with the 6-inning games.
Yep, exactly.
Right? They win this after we get through 6.
Absolutely. First win. First guys to 4 wins the game. That's the new rules, Bubba.
Love it.
That could be one of the. I mean, are they doing? Well, we bring Joe Putnam in later here after our first break with the. He's coming in. We'll talk about the spikes. So, I do have some big MLB questions. Are they doing the doubleheaders? Are they only going to be 7 innings like they did with the minor league baseball, or is MLB going to go if they have a doubleheader? Yeah,
I think they're sticking with the 9.
Okay, so that's not one of those things they kept from the COVID, huh?
I'll have to double check that. I don't think
homework.
so.
Did it?
Yeah, too much homework.
We're bad teachers, Ironhead. All we do is give homework to each other.
What'd you think? So Tuesday, of course, we were talking about the USC Gonzaga game. The good game would be the first one.
Holy hell.
Oops. UCLA, Michigan ended up being a terrific game. I will say Gonzaga, and listen, you never know. I mean, we've seen teams that looked invincible going into the Final Four before. You go back to the Patriots and their undefeated season. We've seen teams all across sports look invincible, and they have that off night, or somebody else just has a really on night, whatever it may be. But, man, to this point, right, I mean, Gonzaga has so clearly been the best team in college basketball, and it really is amazing that they have not had – and I really thought Tuesday would be a competitive game.
So did I.
And it was not even close to competitive. True. True. You should have pretty much taken that to the bank knowing that Gonzaga was the only shocking thing is that they didn't win by 50 after Goon and Ironhead talked USC up.
Let's get this out of the way real quick. I don't think Houston hasn't played anybody in this tournament, so Baylor should run away with it. So I would go heavy on Houston.
Yes, indeed.
I think Baylor's going to run away with it. And then I think that if Gonzaga –
all in on UCLA.
That Baylor matches up well with Gonzaga, so take Baylor again. So, again, just bet against Baylor both times if they make the final.
Big.
Holy crap.
But, man, in all honesty, Gonzaga, though, that is
impressive.
Man, are they just a good
and they're fun
all-around team.
Their fundamentals are so legit.
Really fun to watch.
They're not they're not out there trying to do the one-on-one, clear out, make the one-on-one move, fade away jumper. They're playing basketball, cuts and backdoor cuts and layups and good shooting. The Suggs kid's legit as hell. I didn't have no idea that he was such a good football player and basketball player from what I was told. And it is Terrell Suggs' cousin, I believe.
Yes.
I believe. And he's fantastic. But I'm sick and tired of the big boy from Gonzaga in the middle. You're too good. You don't need to do any kind of dances like that or your little symbols and this and that after each and every basket. I mean, you score 25 a game, you're going to have a lot of little dances. And even the announcers were getting on him a little bit. Hey, you got 25 points, man. You're going to need some more dances or stop dancing, one of the two. But, yes, I thought that USC was going to match up very well with Gonzaga and be a competitive game. And I got into a little jeopardy before the game. And by the time I turned to the basketball game on, I was like, well, this isn't even fun to watch anymore.
You were in jeopardy. What'd you think about Dr. Oz as the host? You're talking about a different. Never mind.
Dr. Oz was great, bud.
Got all confused.
I think Dr. Oz has done a heck of a job.
Yeah, I actually think he's doing fine too. How's that for an aside, kids?
Yeah.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
What did you make it through the Michigan game?
Oh no!
Exactly.
I barely saw the tip off of it.
I was sitting there watching.
Some great looking highlights the next morning, though. I will say that it looked like a great game that I missed.
I woke up and I was wow. I fell asleep and Michigan was down 8 or 9, and I woke up and I was like, oh my god, they're only down 1, and then I fell asleep again for the last second shot. I was like, hey, who does that? I was just really tired, obviously.
Yeah, well, I was more tired than you. You think you were tired?
Oh Lord.
It was 2-0 when I think I zonked out on it.
It was been a very fun tournament to watch, but just after all, like Booch said the other day, after everything was said and done, you're still going to have. I mean,
well, potentially you could have what everybody, the game that we were denied early in the season that everybody was wanting to see with Gonzaga and Baylor, and that could ultimately. Which again means it'll be UCLA and Houston in the championship game, which will be intriguing in its own little way. But it does feel like Baylor and Gonzaga are ultimately going to be on that collision course that it has felt like they've been on a good bit of the season. I will say the UCLA team, even though I didn't see the game, the UCLA team is a fun story, and that is a fun team. I mean, I have no vested interest at all.
Fun too,
but it is an easy team to root for because it and obviously, I mean, this is all perception. I don't know any of these kids, but man, it just feels like a group of guys that is really bought in and is genuinely enjoying everything about the experience, right? This is what college athletics should be and what these kids should be getting out of the experience. And you feel like win or lose, like they're going to come off the court being best buddies and having genuinely enjoyed having the opportunity. And I don't know, in that degree, because, I have to bring everything back to Penn State wrestling, but in that regard, they do. They remind me of the Penn State wrestling team. I was sharing with you before. I'm probably the last person to actually got on board to see this, but I finally did check it out last night. The video that's been circulating with the reaction from Thomas Gilman and Anthony Cassar and Jason Nolf and Zane Rutherford to watching the 4 championship bouts for Penn State, and that is the type of thing that I think just speaks volumes about what the culture. And I think it's an overused term in sports, this we've developed a winning culture. No, you won games. Like, yeah, how you develop a winning culture is by going out and winning. It's not that you have these people are, this coach came in and it changed the culture. No, the coach came in and recruited really good athletes who went out and won games is what happened. And with that, everybody now is part of a winning culture. So I think it's overused, but I do think that there is a culture at Penn State, and it feels like UCLA has built it too, where, again, it is you never saw Jason Nolf get that excited for one of his victories, ever. At any point in his career. You won't see him that excited for himself if he wins Olympic gold this summer. and that is just, to me, one of the really neat things. And it's not I mean, listen, Iowa, if you watch the Iowa kids, they're watching their teammates. I mean, it is what winning teams do, right? But in a sport that is requires so much individual sacrifice and commitment, to see that dedication and passion for teammates, to me, is really neat to see. And it's, if you haven't seen it, YouTube it or Google it, whatever. But look for that video if you're a Penn State fan in particular, because it is just really cool watching the reactions of these guys supporting their former teammates but guys that they're wrestling around with in the room.
That's what you said. They are vested in those guys because they're with them every day. I remember when was just done playing here, and I was just hacking around trying to catch on professionally somewhere and this and that, and watching all my Penn State brothers and my real brother playing for 2 years after me. But then, like, after that, and I got into coaching and stuff like that, and I'd be watching games, and I would have no control over them. I would be more nervous before a game that I have absolutely no control over, that I wasn't coaching or I wasn't playing. I didn't have any blood in it. They're just my team. And I was always more nervous for that. And I mean, I watched before games my senior year, I'd be sleeping 20 minutes before the game. And it's just,
I do think it is one of the underappreciated components of coaching is you end up wanting it so badly for these kids, right? I mean, any coach at any level, if you're working with good kids, right? I mean, and you're seeing the price that they're paying, and you're invested, and there's nothing that ultimately you can do in any sport on the sideline. I mean, you can only map it out, right? But they've got to go out and finish it off and make the plays and all of that. And it was one of the things, because Kale prides himself on kind of being cool, calm, and collected, and he still gets embarrassed and almost borderline aggravated when you bring up his reaction when Quentin Wright pinned Grant Gambrell of Iowa in the semifinals, and the famous video and more famous photos that came out of that. But it was such a genuine, honest reaction, right? And watching, if you watch the reactions in the coaching corners for Penn State in particular, as a Penn State, in my case, announcer, or a fan, but really watching any of them, the heartbreak and agony that the kids are feeling is compounded with those losses in the finals for the coaches. And the same thing, the joy, I mean, the joy is there for both, but it is one of those things that you just want it so badly. And I always think back to Nico Megaludis in particular during the Sanderson era, because he was so close. I mean, 2-time finalist and 3-time All-American, finishing in the top 3. And that senior year, you knew it was his last opportunity. And I mean, it was agonizing, right? Going in, just thinking about it, because if this kid loses after everything he's put in and all he's done to represent, I mean, it just would be, again, heartbreaking, not tragic in the overall scheme of human history, I understand, but just heartbreaking for the kid, and you feel in the moment. And when he won it, that combination of relief and joy it's just something that's hard to explain, I think, if you've not been in it. But when you watch Kale's reactions, again, much like we were talking about with Jason Nolf, I mean, I don't think I ever saw Kale do much more than a smirk after one of his individual victories, no doubt. Even after his 4th NCAA title. Like, it was a little smile, a handshake, and let me get off of the mat here. But he was savoring, and I don't mean on, hey, I coached this guy. I mean, he just genuinely loved the moment for his kids, with all of the kids throughout. Yeah. But I mean, this season with Roman and then Nick and obviously Carter and Aaron, and I just think those are special moments, because again, you get to see how much those kids are investing, and you want it so badly for them, but you ultimately, again, can't really control anything that's going on out there. And it's much tougher, as you said. I think it's much tougher in some ways for fans as well, right? Because again, you are all in as a fan, right? Like, I am fully invested in the Penguins and the Steelers, and if the Pirates ever get a legitimate ownership group, I'll be back to fully invested in the Pirates. And I mean, you are all in and you want it so badly, but you can't control, as a fan, even less. I mean, you can't control a doggone thing. All you can do is, yeah, that was good. Oh, that sucked. I mean, that's the extent of your impact on the winning and losing, but it feels like you have everything invested in it, right?
Got a great question for you about Kale Sanderson. Have I seen videos of him wearing a robe going into a match. And Iowa State used to wear robes.
They did, yeah.
Dude, bring that back to Penn State. I mean, you come walking out like Flair, like, whoa! Like, I'm just like, come on, that would be absolutely amazing. Because I watching, there was a video of Nate Carr Sr. when he won his national title, and he's wearing this robe, and I'm like, dude, why are we not doing this? And then I see a video of Kale wearing one, and I'm like, this is the greatest thing ever.
Hey,
I love the belt.
If we do that, I want the announcers to be able to do it Hugh Hefner style. I want to be up there calling the matches with a pipe, in my mouth and the robe.
First of all, if I'm Kale Sanderson,
with the silk boxers underneath for all to see. I mean, come on, let's do it right.
Like, what about the coaches wearing robes? I mean, just think about this Kale walking out like this. What's up? Big Penn State robe, jewels, flowing robes. Come on, Kale, you can do this, man. If he loses the match to me, he has to do that.
That seems appropriate.
So if he loses, if I win the match, he's got to wear the robe. I got you. That's a good bet. Good bet. So
yeah, I don't think we'll be seeing the robes anytime
soon. Go back to what we were saying about the coaching thing, and that is, as a coach, you just sit there. Did I do enough? Did I do enough? Because as a player, you're mentally right. As a wrestler, Nolf and Sanderson and those guys, when they would win, they would be like, okay, their mindset was, I'm going to win. I'm not going to show too much emotion because I just did what I was supposed to do. But as a coach, you're sitting there thinking, did I watch enough film? Did we work on this enough? Did we work on this? Did we work on this? And you could drive yourself crazy doing it. You don't have enough time, and that's the thing that coaches go off the tracks a little bit, but that you are more satisfied for a person who does listen to you. It is more gratifying, I think, than when you were a player.
And listen, one of the reasons I think that this past performance, this most recent performance by Penn State wrestling, and I really think with all of these championship teams, I think whoever wins the basketball tournament, the same thing in this COVID era, right? Because the other thing the coaches like is complete control, right? And you know, from a wrestling perspective, they genuinely have the entire year mapped out. I mean, I am not exaggerating. Like it is.
And each guy's different because they're all in different tournaments.
But it is to the day they have mapped out what they want to do. Now they'll make adjustments, obviously. I mean, I'm not saying they make the plan on, May 20th or whatever it was for the entire year. And by God, they stick to that plan no matter what. But they really do have it pretty well mapped out of, okay, this is how we want to do this. This is where we're going to be at in the training cycle here. This is where we'll taper. This is where we'll work it back up, and that's, for the Olympic hopefuls, for the young kids coming in, for the veterans on the team. I mean, they, different developments here throughout the course of the year that they're looking for. But and again, you'll make adjustments, when obviously there will be injuries, there will be different things that will come up, and you'll make some adjustments. But you're not expecting to make the types of adjustments that Penn State did, and all of college wrestling. I mean, I don't mean Penn State, but all of college wrestling had to do this year. And in Penn State's case, then you had, Robbie Howard that you're trying to bring back from a shoulder injury. You had Greg Kirkfleet have his situation where, he thought he was done for the year and missed, basically the entire season until the postseason, the final dual meet, and then the postseason. So, you're making those adjustments, and then obviously from Big Tens to Nationals, trying to make the little adjustments for the individuals, and obviously all of that paid off. But I think that to me speaks volumes. It's one thing to have a plan. It's another to be able to adjust to a plan. It is another to then make the significant adjustments that you had to make to that overall plan multiple times, and still end up with the types of results that Penn State had. And again, that's what, all of these championship coaches in all of these sports are doing. That they are doing a better job of managing completely unforeseen circumstances and getting everybody within their program or organization through it than anybody else. And I do think there's, there is something to be said for the talent, right? I mean, there's a reason that Alabama football was still Alabama football this past season. But it also was that they made better adjustments and handled all of the adversity that everybody was dealing with better than other programs.
Well, easier when you had all that talent at that level, but
no, I mean it starts there. Like you have to have that, but it also again it has to be an ability to handle all of the adjustments.
The kids that flourish the most at Penn State, the kids who really buy into it.
Yeah,
and hey, these guys know what the hell they're doing. Like you're not going to sit there and if you don't buy into it 100%, it's not going to work. And, if you're not going to listen to a guy like Nick Saban's going to try to tell you to take on an offensive guard like this with your wrong shoulder versus just using your arms or going around the guy. You think that Nick Saban doesn't know the best way to go? You got to listen to the guy. He is who he is for a reason. So, and Cale is who he is for a reason too. And the history of in Cale's career as a coach is that the guys who listen and follow through and do, what the plan is, they succeed.
Yeah.
Like big time. So.
We'll take a break here. Joe Putnam with the State College Spikes will join us. We'll talk some opening day baseball. The beloved Pirates right where they belong. I've been on board all along. I've been telling you guys, watch out for the Pirates, haven't I?
Phillies are up big in the first, 1-0.
I'm telling you that the Pirates win today, 62 more, baby, and we avoid 100 loss season. I know we can do it.
We got to use your predictions, by the way. I got to tell you, the line is it's 50 and a half, I believe 59 and a half or something. I'll look it back up for the Buccos, so I'll get you. Sorry.
That sounds about right.
I would say 50. I was a good bet with 50, but it's 9.5 more games, so they're well under that.
Oh, yeah. No, this is a big start here for the beloved Bucks. We're back with much more Joe Putnam as we continue with the Lion Country Kia Goon and Ironhead show right after this.
Lion Country Kia is offering exceptional deals on your new Kia during Kia's Command the Season event.
We have a nice selection on the 2021 Kia Sportage with various options and prices as low as $26,800, saving you $3,000. Or if you demand big power and towing capacity, slip into one of the 2021 Kia Sorentos available on our lot starting at $32,680.
Discover why Kia drivers throughout the area come to Lion Country Kia or visit online at lioncountrykia.com.
Introducing the new dusted Ghost Pepper at Quaker Steak and Lube. 11,700 SHUs of fire dusted on award-winning wings. Try it, or are you afraid of the heat?
Hi, Johnny Broom here. If you're in the market for a new Hyundai or a pre-owned car, truck, van, or SUV, nobody beats a Blaze Alexander deal. But don't take my word for it.
Hey, Goon says tell him Johnny sent you.
Hey, tell him Johnny sent ya.
Tell him Johnny sent you.
Wait, tell him Juan or tell him Johnny sent you?
Tell him Johnny sent you.
Here at Bill Pickles Tap Room, we say,
tell him Johnny sent you.
And remember,
tell him Johnny sent you.
And we are back here at Quaker Steak and Lube with the Lion Country Kia Goon and Ironhead show. And the good-looking fella in between Goon and I is none other than Joe Putnam with the State College Spikes. Mr. Putnam, always good to see you. Opening day, hope springs eternal for all but one of the Major League Baseball franchises out there, and maybe even for that one. I don't know.
I feel bad for the Minnesota Twins, But, hey, the Pirates are up 3-1. The Phillies are leading. The Toronto Blue Jays are rocking the powder blues. Everything is right again.
Life
and
is
we have
good.
Baseball in the month of April, a tinge of normalcy, as it were. And counting down the days, we've only got 53 more days till the State College Spikes hit the field once again.
And as of now, we're thinking this might even be a 162-game schedule once again, the way it used to be in Major League Baseball, which would be fine as well.
Yes.
Update us, and we will talk some Major League Baseball here for sure. But update us on how things are going with preparations here for the Spikes and this new look for the system that they're in, and also what and again, I know it's ever changing and it's going to be ongoing plans, but as we sit here today, kind of what the thoughts are looking forward with in terms of fans in the ballpark and what we're at least hoping for and maybe planning for in terms of numbers there this summer.
Well, we've got 53 days until Spike's opening day. Preparations are going fast and furious. I mean, the 53 days will be up like that before we know it. So we're definitely preparing for any and all possible circumstances. Things change every day, it seems. So we are preparing for all that. As of right now, we'd be at 50% capacity, being an outdoor event, and we would be required to have distanced seating. And so we are working on that map right now, making sure, of course, all of our season ticket holders get their seats, which they'll have for the entire season. We've got season tickets available right now at statecollegespikes.com. You can also give us a call, 272-1711 here in the 814 area code. But not just that, but just getting everything up and running for the new league. Like you said, the MLB Draft League, first concept of its kind in player development. They have now moved the Major League Baseball draft, which used to take place in early June. They moved it to MLB All-Star Week in mid-July. So instead of getting one team's draft picks after the draft, we are now getting every team's draft picks before the draft. This will basically be kind of their first stop on their way. They'll make a stop in State College or any of the other 5 teams that are part of the inaugural season of the draft league, then go into the draft, get selected by an MLB team. And then our season goes from May 24th all the way till August 13th. And so it'll be a little ways after the draft, but that'll give teams a chance with, their major league teams might not have room for them right away, so they can still get additional seasoning. They're not just shut down.
So they're not leaving after getting drafted, right?
Yes, that is the plan. I mean, there's the possibility, but we're working on making sure that we provide a place for them to get that additional month of seasoning, so they're not just shut down for 2 months until the regular season ends in the major league.
Right.
So historically, if I recall, you guys would have first-round talent sent here, but they rarely played.
Well, we very rarely had first-round talent
they wouldn't
here.
let them play because they just wanted to get the experience of being around the ball club and this.
Yeah, Josh Bell was like that. Jamison Tyone. Those are 2 players who were in State College, but they didn't actually see game action.
Well, the possibility of actually having first-round, they will be playing.
It's certainly possible, and that's the great part of it is instead of getting one team's draft picks, you're limited to the 20th, 30th, 40th round picks, some of whom have really panned out, especially in the Cardinals organization.
All university kids, though, correct?
There are they're going to be a great majority of college kids. There's still the opportunity. It's all draft eligible players. So, strictly speaking, a high schooler who really has no intention of going to college could go into this league, get that seasoning they want. But yes, the great majority, and I mean, there'll be very limited exceptions that all be college players.
I'm talking about the Latin American players. I mean, will they be coming up? Or are they already their schedules are a whole different than the university schedules,
and in all likelihood we would not get players from the Latin countries.
Recruited at a younger age and been playing in the organization.
Yes. Now, if they're coming from a U.S. college, then yes, they would probably. But as far as coming directly from the Dominican Republic, Venezuela, Colombia, the other countries to the U.S., that probably would not happen with this particular league. But we're excited to be part of it. I mean, it's a brand new venture. We're specifically selected by Major League Baseball to be part of this new venture, which is certainly exciting. And we've got some familiar teams. The Williamsport Crosscutters are still part of this. The West Virginia Black Bears are still part of this. So are the Mahoning Valley Scrappers and the fourth former New York Penn League team. It's us, I guess. And then we have the Trenton Thunder, who were formerly of the AA Eastern League, and the Frederick Keys, who were formerly of the Advanced Class A Carolina League. So, but it's down in Frederick, Maryland. We got a nice footprint in the league right there in Mid-Atlantic. Nice. We still got Williamsport, and we're going to be playing a good amount of matchups with them. But we're excited. I mean, we're starting up May 24th. It's earlier than we used to start. Absolutely. This whole season basically has been moved up 3 weeks now, starting in late May, going to mid-August. But we are excited, and let me assure everybody, 53 days until opening day. It will be here before we know it. I know I say that every year, but yeah, it is a great number.
53 is a good number. Just so
there you go.
Talk a little bit, Joe, about the how this is being handled. We talked about from a fan's perspective, but with COVID and testing, immunization. I mean, all of this stuff obviously again is kind of fluid. But how is that working? Is this being in terms of both the testing and the vaccine opportunities? Is that being handled by Major League Baseball,
Yes.
and they're the ones?
Major League Baseball and Prep Baseball Report are handling all aspects of that with the players, and they're definitely cognizant of everything going on. Like you said, the situation's fluid.
Yeah.
Things can change, and we've already seen that. With Major League teams, as more Major League players get vaccinated, they're enabled to be basically move around with much more freedom than they had before. So, as we get closer to May 24th. I know that each player is coming from a different location. There's different things, but I can tell you that Major League Baseball is encouraging players that would be part of this league to get vaccinated, not requiring, just encouraging. But also, they are definitely in tune with all of the latest health and safety. There are health and safety measures that are being taken at this level, and such as as of right now. And again, this is a fluid situation, but as of right now, on-field activities are somewhat limited. The usual promotions you would see in between innings, we might not be able to do them on the field this year. Now we'll still have between innings promotions, but things like that are limited. But I think all the players and the coaches as well are very excited. And, our coaching staffs will be revealed here in the very near future, as will our players and the rosters. If you go onto the MLB Draft League social media pages, they've already revealed players that are going to be part of this league. They haven't yet revealed which teams they'll be on, because all of that is being handled by Prep Baseball Report. They're basically balancing out the rosters, making sure that everybody has the talent that they need to be part of this league. And once you go through that, the coaching staffs, I think, are going to have a lot of familiar names. And again, we've got some initial indications on some names. I think there'll be some recognizable names, certainly amongst the coaching staffs of the MLB Draft League, and hopefully here in State College as well.
And with the players, the interesting thing is that in State College, all of the players will be from California, Arizona, and Oregon. They're not going to have any Pennsylvania or Penn State kids being permitted on this. No, wait, I might have that a little bit wrong.
Well, I mean, we'll certainly probably have some players from California, Arizona, Oregon, but yes, I can assure you, no doubt, there'll be players that whether they're from this area, whether they have been cultivated in this area through Penn State, there will be local players as part of this thing, and we're excited to be able to welcome them. I mean, the rosters will probably continue to change as the college season moves along. This is a great opportunity for a lot of players, but we definitely will have some local talent.
Turning to the major leagues, Joe. Yankees or Pirates? Who wins this World Series? It's going to be a heck of a matchup. A lot of people seem to be taking the Yankees in 6 or 7. You think the Pirates have a chance in this World Series?
Well, back in 1960, the Pirates.
Maserati guys coming in hot.
Exactly. So, and I mean, Vern Law, you never can count him out of a ball game.
No, indeed.
But I'll tell you what, if the Toronto Blue Jays keep rocking those powder blues like they're rocking, I like them.
It's a rematch, 61 years in the making.
So I got my trivia question for Putt. It's called Stump the Putt. And you made reference to it already.
Yeah.
In the 60s and 70s, how many teams wore baby blues?
Oh, my
One
goodness.
team only wore them for 6 years, but it was from 80 to 86. So I got 12.
80 to 86 would have been the Phils, I believe.
No, they were already wearing them in the 70s.
Okay.
It's
Phillies?
Strictly 80 to 86.
Phillies, Blue Jays, Royals, Expos.
Gotcha.
You got the Cubs.
Gotcha.
Wore powder blues for a while.
Going through powder blue salesman in the world, in the country that year was the genius.
I love the powder blues. I mean,
they're
gosh,
my favorite uniforms.
Who else would have worn the Texas Rangers? Would have worn them.
Oh yeah.
You got. I'm going through the old divisions here. The old AL West. You had the Angels wouldn't have the
AL West had one.
Seattle Mariners.
There you go.
So how many more do I need?
Texas. You had Seattle. You had the Twins.
Yeah. Yep.
You had Montreal, Toronto.
Yep.
Milwaukee.
Oh yes, the Brewers.
The
Raleigh
White Sox. They wore
That's
them.
right,
The
they
White Sox
did.
Literally had the most uniform combos in history.
I know,
Oh,
and
yeah.
it's so weird to see them now in the black and white for the most part, and you would think they had red and blue and maroon and all sorts of shades.
You see
there.
Dick Allen wearing the red helmet with a White Sox logo.
Yeah.
What's going on there?
Exactly.
All right, so you missed the one.
I did miss one.
Well, it wasn't the one because it was strictly the 70s. But the team that wore it from 80 to 86 would have been the Atlanta Braves.
Oh, yes. Skip Carey.
Here we are. It's a 3-2 pitch to Chipper Jones.
Moving right along. He would say any game. Didn't matter how long the game was going, if it was fast, slow, moving right along.
Buccos, 59.5 wins.
59.5. You know what? I'm an optimistic guy. I'm going to take the over on that one.
Oof.
Hey, 60 is an over, right?
That is over.
So
that's a fact.
100 losses.
It's not looking good. But hey, you know what? With low expectations, I mean, shoot, if they win 65 games, we're going to celebrate like they won the World Series.
That's the key. Old radio partner Kevin Nelson used to say that the key to happiness in life, low expectations, baby.
Hey, if you needed a 2.2 to stay eligible, you get a 2.3, you're happy.
Exactly.
That's right.
That's the way you got to look at it.
Kids that set the bar at 4.0, it's just ridiculous.
When I used to recruit players and tell their parents that, like, no, we don't want to take those strong, heavy AP courses. No. Keep them low. Keep them low. Keep your expectations low, and when you do achieve them, you're going to feel better about yourself.
Surpass the expectations.
It didn't flush too well with parents. They were like, what did you just say? Like, nothing. We're going to win football games. So, Phillies, 80.5.
80.5. I like
tough division.
I think the Phils are going to. And you know what? I actually talked about this. Mark Dacko, who's in our office now, he's a Phillies guy. He does not believe me when I say the Phils are going to finish above 500. But I'm saying they're going to finish above 500 this year. They're gonna scrap and scratch and claw, but I think they're gonna get to 83, 84 wins.
I completely agree with you. I would put the number closer to 90. My personal opinion.
Hey,
but again, I'm also an optimist like
That's
yourself.
Right.
I think the Philadelphia Flyers might win 3 more games the rest of the season.
How's that optimism with the Flyers there, dear Goon? How's your optimistic self feeling about the Flyers' chances here?
I mean, me and Booch were laughing before the show that our expectations for the Flyers right now is about as high as Ironhead's expectations for the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Listen, somebody had to be the March win for the Sabres, so.
But a 6-1 win for the Sabres? I mean, it's one thing to lose to the Sabres.
Yeah.
At some point, yes, they're going to win a game. It's one thing to be the team that loses and snaps that streak. But to lose by 5 goals to that team at this stage of the season is truly unreal.
And let's not forget, Ironhead, this is also a team that gave up 9 goals to a Rangers team without any coaches.
Yeah, this is also true.
It's getting better and better. The highlights of this season are getting better and better.
That being said, Mr. Putnam. Okay.
75 goals the Flyers have given up this month of March.
I believe it.
And I know that they were packed in because they had 2 weeks of no games, so the schedule really burnt those guys. But geez, 75 goals in 1 year.
Yeah. Well, they give out the Jennings Trophy for least goals allowed. I think Carter Hart's in line for the Claude Rains Trophy for the season. Heck, Harvey the Rabbit Trophy.
Yes,
if you know what I'm saying.
They gave him 2 days off. Like, we're going to let you just relax, get your head straight. Like, wow, that's how he reminds me of the goalie from Slapshot. He was shell shocked coming in.
Denis Lemieux.
He was shell shocked coming into the locker room because he was getting shot on so much. So. But I can't wait for the Spikes to be back. I just can't wait to go watch a live sport.
Yeah.
Well, we're excited to be that experience for everybody, that fun, affordable family entertainment. We're still going to be out there, and we're still going to be able to come together and maybe tip back a beverage or two, get some coffee in you.
Get the sausages out there again.
We definitely will have. Don't we have sausages?
Sure.
I'm working to get the Sloppy Joe Putnam back on the menu myself. But
how's the my recommendation that all wrestling announcers be given free beer at the park? How's that promotion coming along?
That's right.
Huh? If you wear a robe,
you got to have a robe.
Only if I wear a robe.
You got to have a robe
for free beer. I mean, come on,
Bob Backlund style. Or failing that, you got to come in with somebody in a robe and be Arnie Skolin. How's that?
That could work.
All right,
that could work. Looking at Major League Baseball, in all seriousness, it is just nice to have baseball back, and at least the expectation and the belief that we'll have a full season. Talk a little bit about just kind of where we're at with the game right now, because it's interesting. I do feel like we're at at kind of a crucial point here. And, we saw it with the New York Penn League and the, salvaging what was salvaged out of it. But in a market like State College, I think Major League Baseball has got to tread carefully here for the next few years in terms of carving out its place in the sports world, and in particular with young sports people. We've talked about it quite a bit over the years, both on the morning show I did, and I think we've talked about it a good bit here, Goon, where, when we were growing up, back in the good old days, but I mean, pickup games were you couldn't drive through a neighborhood in this area and throughout much of America, right, without seeing over the summer, and we would have pickup sports of all kinds, but over the summer, I mean, it was wiffle ball or baseball, and I grew up in Lamont. Wow, I never grew up. I was raised in Lamont. But we would, if you drove by that churchyard where the Methodist church is there on Branch Road, I am telling you, if you drove by on a summer day, 9 times out of 10, you were seeing kids from our neighborhood down in that churchyard playing. Most of the time over the summer, it was either baseball or wiffle ball, but some sort of sports activity. You don't see that. I don't see it at all. I'm told that it is still happening in some places on occasion. But, man,
I haven't seen it.
Baseball has got to, I think, reconnect with that younger generation. And I just think this next 10-year period or so is just vitally important here for baseball to try to at least maintain the footprint that it has on the American sports scene.
No question. And definitely, Major League Baseball, they have a vision for the player development system. They want to reshape it. But I think they are cognizant of the effect that markets like State College, teams like the Spikes, teams all across America have on bringing the game to younger fans, introducing it to them. And I think that's why, too, Major League Baseball has tried to keep as many teams under the tent as possible. Maybe not in the places they were, but by partnering up with previously independent leagues like the American Association, the Atlantic League, trying to put teams who don't quite fit into the current system, directing them to that, and also bringing more teams kind of under its umbrella. I think they know how much of an outreach effort we do for the game of baseball, and within our communities, and they want to keep on cultivating that. And you're absolutely right. There certainly is. We're at a crossroads as far as young people playing the game. The numbers there has been a decrease, but Major League Baseball, I think, is cognizant of that, and they want to find ways to reverse that trend, get more young people playing baseball, get them playing baseball all over the country, not just in select pockets, select communities. So I think you're going to see more and more of that, of Major League Baseball making that outreach effort. I think that's a big reason for the Little League Classic in Williamsport now. I think it's a big reason that you're going to see even more of the RBI program, outreach efforts like that to try and cultivate kids playing the game once again, and maybe even connecting it to MLB The Show, video game competitions, things like that. MLB is going to be a lot more involved in that.
Yeah, the one thing I would love to see, and I say this kind of half-kiddingly, but I would love to see at least a day or a night in Major League Baseball, and even at like the Spikes, we talk about different promotions where you are not permitted. And again, I'm half kidding with this. Not permitted to bring your cell phone into the park. Actually, make the kids sit, and the adults for that matter. Well, they've had the old time.
We've definitely had the way back nights.
I love the way back nights. But I am, and this is again, this is the old school funny duddy in me. And by the way, I'm as guilty. Just so I'm not up on my pedestal here when I go to a baseball game. No, I go to a game. I have my phone with me, and I'm doing the exact same thing. So, but I rue the fact that I'm doing it and that everybody else is doing it. I would love to go to a game. The Spikes, a Little League game, and just have everybody actually invested in just what is happening on the field. And I don't even mean winning and losing. Just actually appreciate, when I was a kid, And again, it's everybody, when I was a kid and I'd hear the stories about everybody walking uphill to school both ways and all of that. I mean, I get it. Yeah. But I'm telling you, one of my many great memories from my childhood was going to Pirates games with my grandfather, and my grandfather explaining, hey, that guy shifted over there. Do you know why he did that? I have no idea. Look at the batter. What about him? He's left-handed. That's why they're shifting that way. Or this guy, tends to hit, and you start to learn the intricacies of the game and appreciate it. But you really did. I mean, and then you start to, again, as you're watching, it's like, oh, man, there is a lot going on.
Yeah.
The thing that always just drives me crazy is when you hear young people say about baseball that it's boring or that there's nothing to do in general in town X. It's like, well, go create something to do. Yeah. Like, rely on yourself for some entertainment. And with baseball, to say that there's nothing going on, again, you're just not understanding the game. The things that I love about baseball, and baseball itself, I think, is slowly trying to erode these very traditions. The thing that is great about it, and I maintain even in this high-paced society, maybe even more so because we're in this high-paced society, is the fact that it is a slow-moving game and that there is no time. You don't know if you're going to a game today and it's going to be played in less than 2 hours, or if you're going to have to make a 5-hour commitment to watch the end of this thing. That, to me, is one of the beautiful things about the game of baseball. But part of it is, again, going back to you've got to connect with that younger generation that, hey, yeah, there's nothing going on at the moment in terms of a pitch or somebody batting. Look at all of the different things that are actually going on. Think about all of the different strategies that are being employed here. And again, grow to appreciate that. Watch how a batter is working a count. Watch how a pitcher is adjusting to what a batter is doing over the course of at-bats during a game. That stuff is fascinating, intriguing stuff if again, you're invested into the game.
Yeah.
But Johnny Broom, well-known sponsor in town, one of our sponsors in this show. He played mid-level AA, AAA ball back in the day. It's really fun watching a game with a guy like that who knows how to think the game, the pitching, as well as the defensive part of the game. It's really, really cool sitting there. It's not kidding. I mean, it's like watching a game with an NFL guy, and they're sitting there saying, well, watch this. And people who don't know, and they're like, wow, holy crap, I never really realized that. But listening to baseball players talk about baseball, because the little nuances that go on throughout the game are just, that's I think, the best game of our youth growing up and stuff like that. Yeah. So I'm going to go history major on you here.
Okay.
In World War II,
yes,
when they had the pineapple-shaped grenades and stuff like that, they actually tested grenades that were the exact specifications of a baseball. Yeah. Because they knew every American kid had grown up playing baseball and knew how to throw it. Yep. Maybe they built a hand grenade. I mean, think about that. Nowadays, it's like, wow, you're playing baseball. That's great. Are you and all your friends? Like, not really. We're going to miss a whole generation of these kids, I think, what Ironhead says. You got to get them more involved. And I think that you guys do a great job of entertainment and stuff like that, to the detriment of some old hats who get all mad. There's so much music.
But to your point about being an ambassador for the game and for the youth, right? Like running the bases, that is a huge deal for kids. Like my
playing catch on the field, and I think we'll find
stuff.
And I talked about we might have to limit on field. We'll still find ways, I think, to do kids run the base. We'll still find ways to do those catches on the field, because it gives you that experience of getting on a professional level field, a field that future major leaguers are playing on.
Yes, sir.
And and I think you bring that, you put it together with the social experience. I mean, that's really, I think, what we're talking about when we're talking about not being on our cell phones. We're missing out on the experience that we gather together with our buddies, with our families, and we go to the ballpark and we have a great time and we talk about, hey, that was funny in between innings, but we also talk about, wow, that Rowan Wick can hit the ball a mile, players like that,
Yeah. And again, that interaction about the game, I feel like we're missing that to a large degree now. And again, it's not putting on the kids. It's the parents are sitting there every bit as guilty on the cell phones as well, and trying to get caught up on business instead of, you know what, just take a couple of hours and enjoy the game itself with your kids. Put everything else on hold for a little while and just enjoy again the game itself. And again, I get that you might not be as invested going to a Spikes game, right? It's not going to. You're going for the experience as much in many cases as the win or the loss. Whereas if I'm going to a Pirates game, it is a wonderful atmosphere, wonderful ballpark. I need
you
to
want
see,
the Buccos to raise
to
the
see
Jolly
my
Roger.
team winning at the end of the day.
You
Like,
hear me
that's what that's
laughing over
about.
Here. I'm talking about Johnny Broom.
Yeah.
I want to talk about your slide in his commercial. But come on, man. I don't think he had enough momentum to go with the head first slide.
I talked to Johnny Broom beforehand, and I said, if there was a manager that put me into pinch run, I'd fire him.
Absolutely.
But it's what's called for. You're decked out in the uniform.
But in fairness, you were pinch running for Goon, so it made some sense.
I drew an intentional walk, and you had to run the first base for me. So
absolutely. But I had to go in head first. I was trying to do my Charlie Hustle bit, and instead I ended up doing my Willie Mays Hayes bit. So
don't know if you went too high, too low.
I think it was
momentum going.
Needed more momentum. I think I started the dive a little early, and you saw the result.
You needed some wind too. You needed a wind-aided slide. You didn't have any wind that day.
I think we might have needed to bring a hurricane in for the amount of aid I needed from the wind.
I love that commercial.
Thanks.
I thought you were safe.
I thought so too.
The throw wasn't there, but it got there.
Your slide in this show just needs a little momentum. That's all we need is a little momentum.
But with him doing the Willie Hayes maze, that was the best. I thought you had it, Putt. You had a great jump.
Absolutely.
It was a 2-2 curve. So
I saw the catcher.
It was Yadier Molina who threw you out, so you can't be that upset about it.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
So, all right. As long as people know that, they know the story. You know what I mean?
That's right. It's all about the story.
There you go. Putt, I can't wait 53 freaking days, man.
That's right.
Wait. I went to a dinner last night, a wine dinner, and it was socially distanced and stuff like that.
You're having a little Wine Wednesday.
It was so nice to actually be out and be in a restaurant and just being amongst friends and stuff like that. It was like, wow, a little bit of normalcy. So, and you said,
absolutely. And hopefully things
happen in 53 days, bud.
And hopefully things continue to trend positively. I mean, it might be, who knows, it might be vastly different on May 24th than it is right now, which I think that'd be a welcome. Hopefully it's a welcome sign, and hopefully, we can all, as many people as we can, bring into the ballpark to celebrate with us the return of State College Spikes baseball. We're certainly hoping to do that.
Do you have any exact days you had off?
Exact days I had off?
Not you personally. I mean, from the Spikes.
I got you. September 1st, 2019 was our last game. I've calculated. I look forward, so I've calculated the days. Them days. I haven't done the exact calculations. Good, I'm sorry.
657. I'm going to be pretty impressed.
657.
Is that what? If it is, I'll be pretty impressed. I love it. But I love when you come on, man.
I love being here with you guys.
Yep,
always great to come down here to the Lube and chat with Ironhead and Goon.
Always appreciate it. And the beloved Buccos are as we get ready to sign off. Pirates are as good as anybody in Major League Baseball so far this season.
Top team in baseball right now.
Pretty impressive stuff.
That's right. Hey, they haven't lost a game yet.
Out of the gates here by the Bucks. By the way, real quick, just because we'll obviously talk about the Olympic trials on Tuesday, but the U.S. Olympic trials are coming up on Saturday. Obviously, a lot of
I'm telling
Nittany Lion Wrestling Club members and former Penn Staters.
We can't watch them live, man.
In it. But I do think it's going to be I think on Tuesday we're going to have at least a couple of Penn Staters that will be representing the United States in the 2021 Olympic Games, which will be pretty special stuff. But best of luck to everybody, not just the Penn Staters involved, because it's I'm telling you, these trials this year, it is as good a wrestling and overall depth. It's the deepest that this U.S. team, I believe, has had. I mean, I truly believe at least 3 of the weight classes, you can go for sure two deep and probably 3 deep with legitimate medal contenders. I mean, guys that if they were there, you would say, listen, it's a possibility that they could be one of the top 3 in that weight class. And listen, that being said, it's the Olympic Games. There's no guarantee that the winners in those weight classes are going to be on the medal stand at the end of the day. With the 6 weight classes, it really does change things up. I don't think for the good of the sport, because it's not just the U.S. Again, I think we talked about this a little bit on Tuesday, but for the sports that have for the countries that have wrestling as one of their premier sports, and it's countries like Turkey and Iran and Iraq and Russia, Japan, those countries are at 10 weight classes are deep enough that they can, again, provide medal contenders at all 10 of those weight classes, and or at least a majority of them, and at some weight classes, again, can go deep into their country's depth and feel good about their international contending prospects. It's one of those things. I don't think it's going to change anytime soon, just because of the politics involved right now. But it truly is not as outrageous as Stanford dropping the sport, but it is outrageous that there's only 6 weight classes in particular for men's freestyle wrestling, when you look at the caliber of wrestling
look forward to watching
around the world.
We found out where we can watch them.
So, yeah, Peacock Sports will have coverage throughout the day, and then NBC Sports will have coverage of the finals. But there's you can watch it between the internet and the TV coverage. Everything will be available on Saturday. And, again, it's going to be a lot of fun and intriguing stuff. And for Penn State fans, right out of the gate, you're going to have, again, Jason Nolf versus Vincenzo Joseph in a first-round matchup, and Bo Nickel and Carter Starachi in a first-round matchup.
Wow.
So you're going to have plenty of opportunity to see Penn Staters competing, again, right out of the gate. Listen, I will give you a couple of predictions, but I will say, and I just caution. Well, absolutely, but there's not a guarantee, right?
Okay.
Because even listen, I think David Taylor is wrestling as well as anybody in the country, maybe as well as anybody in the world right now. Same thing with Kyle Dake. Kyle Dake right now is on top of his game. All of that being said, again, it takes one. You get off balance in one situation. It takes one guy getting one good shot, and a David Taylor or a Kyle Day could be ousted from this thing. So there are no guarantees. Well, when you get to the championship series, it's the best of 3. But until then, it's head-to-head matchups. So, I'm talking about the representative for the U.S. team. That'll be in the Olympic Games. So, barring injury, that's the guy.
For the last 2 weeks, I'm probably the most disappointed that we didn't get the Big Ten finals to watch them here, and then now we had this wrestling, which is, like I told Ironhead the other day, I said I got into wrestling about 5 years ago, so I'm literally looking at the who's who of the last 5 years who are going to represent our country, and I'm like, these guys are all going to start wrestling each other. This is amazing. And we get screwed as State College because we should have had them live here at the Bryce Jordan Center. We should be watching all these matches live. And
but I will say having them in 2024 is going to be a pretty special deal.
The
pretty
same thing,
neat
a lot
thing.
of Penn State flavor.
Yeah, I mean, maybe even more. I mean, because I don't think. I mean, we'll see how it all plays out. It's hard to project with any certainty. But I don't. My guess is Zane Rutherford, David Taylor. Certainly Bo Nickel, you would expect to be still competing. But, in another 4 years, again, Roman Bravo Young, Bo Bartlett. I mean, all of these guys that are on the roster now, and maybe even some of the guys, the younger guys, will be at least among those competing. So, yeah, I mean, I think in another 3 years, for as many Penn Staters as you have this time around, my guess is you will have more
Brooks
Penn
will be 3
Staters.
years older, so he'll be that much more seasoned.
Yeah.
All right, so who is the staff of the USA wrestling team? Is it more a collegiate thing, or is there like a higher level of wrestling?
It changes over. I mean, Zeke Jones has been one of the best in terms of freestyle coaches. The way it works now, it used to be a much bigger deal in terms, I'm not trying to minimize the importance of that staff, but it really is now so much about the regional training centers and the coaching staffs that you're coming from. Now, you will combine that and use that with the staff that is put together for the Olympic team, but it's a much it's no longer you go and train for the Olympics with that staff for 6 months. You're training with the staff that you're comfortable and familiar with, and integrating that with, and it's a much more collaborative effort.
So Kale involved?
All of these guys will be.
Yeah, so when they go
involved.
wrestle in Tokyo this summer, if David's
all of those guys will be going.
Kale,
all of those guys will be going. Yep.
Brands Brothers and our guys.
Yep.
West Side Storyboro.
Enjoy the weekend. Enjoy the baseball. We'll see if the beloved Pirates are still undefeated when next we get together on Tuesday. We'll see if the Flyers have recovered from their 6-1 beatdown at the hands of the Sabres. We'll see how many Olympians Penn State Wrestling has. We'll talk to you on Tuesday. Hey, I'm with you. Enjoy it while you can. We'll talk to you Tuesday. Until then, be good and be safe.
Lion Country Kia is offering exceptional deals on your new Kia during Kia's Command the Season event.
We have a nice selection on the 2021 Kia Sportage with various options and prices as low as $26,800, saving you $3,000. Or if you demand big power and towing capacity, slip into one of the 2021 Kia Sorrentos available on our lot, starting at $32,680.
Discover why Kia drivers throughout the area come to Lion Country Kia or visit online at lioncountrykia.com.
Introducing the new dusted Ghost Pepper at Quaker Steak and Lube. 11,700 SHUs of fire dusted on award-winning wings. Try it, or are you afraid of the heat?
He's not getting that car in there.
No, sir.
Hey, look at these two troublemakers.
Johnny, how are you?
Wicked car, is that new?
Yeah, it's a Sonata. Let me park it.
Oh, you're not fitting your car in there.
Chris, stop being a smarty pants, all right? Look who's got Smart Park. Even Bruiser can park it. Just hit the clicker. I can park it anywhere.
Beaver Stadium?
Parked it.
Even the Jordan Center?
Parked it.
Even Medlar Field?
Even Bruiser parked it.
Hey, you can't park there.
He's got Smart Park!
Wicked smart.
Blaze Alexander Hyundai. It's wicked smart.